The city light shimmered through the glass windows of the restaurant as she sat nervously at the corner table, glancing at her phone for what felt like the 100th time. Her friends had insisted she give blind dating a chance, even though she never believed in it. She wanted to cancel at the last moment, but something about the unknown had drawn her here. Adjusting her glasses, she looked around the room, her heart beating a little faster each time the door opened. Then he walked in. Tall, confident, dressed sharply in a dark suit, his eyes scanned the place until they fell on her. For a brief moment, she felt a rush of curiosity, but it vanished as soon as he sat down. He didn't smile warmly. Instead, he nodded with an air of detachment, as though he was doing her a favor by being here. "So," he said casually, leaning back in his chair, "you must be Emma." His tone was calm, almost too calm, like someone who already knew the script of the evening. Emma blinked, trying to force a polite smile, but she could feel the irritation building inside her. "Yes," she replied, adjusting her glasses again. "And you must be Daniel." He nodded again, no visible excitement on his face. He seemed distant, cool, and unapproachable. Emma tried small talk, asking about his work, his interests, even his favorite food, but his answers were short and clipped, like he wasn't even trying. To her, he looked arrogant, someone who thought too highly of himself, someone who was simply passing time until something better came along. Emma stirred her drink, her patience wearing thin. "You don't have to be here, you know," she finally said, looking him straight in the eye. Daniel raised an eyebrow, as if her bluntness had caught him off guard. "I'm here, aren't I?" he replied, but his tone still lacked warmth. The conversation dragged on, awkward silences filling the air. Emma decided this was the last time she was listening to her friends about blind dates. This man, she thought, was exactly the type she had always avoided, arrogant, distant, and too proud to show any real emotion. Just as she considered leaving, the unexpected happened. A loud crash erupted near the entrance. A group of men rushed inside, one of them shouting angrily at the staff. The chaos escalated quickly, people screaming and rushing to leave. Emma froze, fear flooding her chest as one of the men stumbled dangerously close to her table. Before she could react, Daniel moved. The cold, arrogant man she thought she knew vanished in an instant. With quick reflexes, he stepped in front of her, pulling her back from the chaos. His arm shielded her, his body tense with focus. He guided her safely toward a side exit, his voice calm but firm. "Stay behind me," he said, his eyes sharp with determination. Emma followed, too stunned to argue. The same man who had seemed so detached minutes ago was now her protector, scanning the room, calculating every move. He pushed through the frightened crowd, keeping her close until they finally stepped outside into the cool night air. Her breath was unsteady, her hands trembling. She looked up at him, expecting to see the same arrogance in his eyes, but what she saw instead was something entirely different: strength, calm, and genuine concern. "Are you hurt?" he asked softly, his hand still on her shoulder. Emma shook her head, words failing her. She was too overwhelmed by the sudden shift, by the realization that she had misjudged him completely. Daniel sighed, finally allowing a faint smile to appear. "I guess this wasn't the evening either of us expected." For the first time, she smiled back, her heart softening. The arrogance she thought she saw was now gone, replaced by a quiet confidence that felt safe. She realized he wasn't cold or detached, he was guarded, maybe even misunderstood. As they walked together down the quiet street, the tension between them melted away. They began to talk again, this time more openly, more honestly. Emma found herself laughing at his subtle humor, and Daniel seemed far more relaxed, his eyes warmer, his tone gentler. The night that had begun with disappointment had turned into something unforgettable. Emma knew she had been wrong about him, and Daniel, in his own way, seemed grateful she stayed long enough to find out who he truly was. Sometimes, she thought, the first impression isn't the real story. Sometimes, it takes one moment of truth to reveal the person hiding behind the mask. And on that night, during what was supposed to be just another blind date, she had discovered something far more: an unexpected connection born out of fear, courage, and the realization that appearances can be deceiving. As they reached the corner, Daniel glanced at her with a quiet smile. "So, Emma," he said, his tone lighter now, "do I still seem arrogant?" She laughed softly, shaking her head. Not anymore. And for the first time that night, both of them felt that maybe this was just the beginning of something real.